Hello and welcome to this morning's Liverpool news roundup here on Anfield Agenda. We've got plenty to go through this morning. We've got some news around Antoine Semenyo and some Liverpool senior officials maybe regretting the decision maybe not to go in for him in the summer. We've got some news around Sven Botman with some links to Liverpool. I'm sure that would be a very interesting conversation to say the least if we went knocking on the door of Newcastle for another one of their better players. So can't see that one happening, but we will discuss it. We've got some news around Marc Guehi's future, a little bit on Canate, a little bit on Chiesa, and loads more. So please do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button and everything, and let's just jump into it. First bit of news then is from Sam Dean of The Telegraph, who said, "There are important figures at Liverpool who believed Antoine Semenyo would have been the ideal signing for the club last summer." Now this is an interesting one because Semenyo is obviously a player Liverpool have held interest in for a long time now, and he's been a good player for Bournemouth. He hasn't quite hit the heights in other seasons as he had this season. He really has hit the ground running this season. He's single-handedly carrying my FPL for one. He definitely looks to have taken that step up this season. So I'm sure a lot of clubs will be thinking, should we have gone in a bit earlier for him now that he probably will command a 75, 80, 90 million pound fee, like Premier League proven, is fit and firing, is just at the top of his game now. I think there was reports that we were linked to them over the summer. I know Arsenal fans seem to think that he's going to them. I know Arsenal fans definitely have their eyes on him. They think they will get him at some point. It is an interesting report though, because like, would Liverpool have wanted to bring in Semenyo, let's say, instead of a Chiesa? Maybe Chiesa moves on and Semenyo comes in. Do we look back and think, right, maybe we would have only signed one of Isak and Ekitike if we gotten Semenyo in? So I'm interested to know more on the logic of this one. Like, obviously Liverpool will be looking at how well he started this season and thinking to themselves, maybe we could have had a deal done in the summer for this fantastic player. But I'd love to know your thoughts on where he would have fit in. Like, would he have been a replacement for Chiesa? Would he have come in alongside everyone else? Like, would we have signed one less striker if we'd gotten Semenyo in? I think personally we probably would have seen Chiesa moved on if we'd signed Semenyo, but an interesting one definitely. It's a player I definitely would take at Liverpool. I think he's fantastic. Hi, Conor from the future here, if you see the clock down in that corner. Just as I finished the video, just some more news came out. So, this is from Alex Crook of Talksport, who said, Antoine Semenyo has a release clause in his Bournemouth contract. Liverpool are big admirers. The exact terms of the release clause are being kept under wraps, as Bournemouth want to keep hold of their star man for as long as possible, which is it very interesting news because I think we would have an advantage in this. Like, Richard Hughes is very likely to already know about that release clause. He has an in there. Like, obviously Richard Hughes would know the player very well. He'd know his representatives very well. So definitely one to keep an eye on. There's a release clause there. If that's any way attainable, I think Liverpool could be all over this one. Like, we do love a release clause. So definitely one to keep an eye on. But yeah, back to past Conor now to bring you through the rest of the news. Speaking of centre backs then, we've had some links with Sven Botman, who is reportedly on Liverpool's list of centre back transfer targets for 2026, although doing business with Newcastle won't be straightforward, obviously, after the Alexander Isak saga. That is according to Caught Offside, who wouldn't be the top tier of reliable news. Definitely an interesting talking point, as Sven Botman is someone Liverpool have been linked with in the past. Again, like Semenyo, he's Premier League proven. It is the kind of player that we would like to sign. Like, we've seen reports in previous months that Liverpool want to sign players who have already had a bit of a career up to the point where they then move to Liverpool. So definitely one Liverpool would want, but like we said, I can't see us going back to Newcastle that quickly to take another one of their better players. So don't see this one happening. We'll take him in a heartbeat. Obviously the Dutch connection with Arne Slot as well. He's a fantastic defender and a great player, but can't see this one happening. So maybe put that one over here in the maybe pile. Another defender then that we've been linked with heavily, obviously because we nearly signed the fella. James Pearce was speaking about Marc Guehi, who said, it's always been much more likely that if he joins Liverpool, it will happen next summer rather than in January. And I think that makes sense, to be fair. Like, Liverpool nearly got the deal over the line for, like, what, £35 million in the summer. I think it would have to be a very, very low fee for Liverpool to splash the cash in January when we could get him for free in 6 months' time. I think we do need to do that, though. If we really are serious about competing for every trophy this season, we should be looking at getting Marc Guehi in January. I understand from the player's point of view, maybe he wants to stay. especially if Crystal Palace are doing well, like they've started the season brilliantly. Marc Guehi will want as much stability and consistency as possible. Like, he wants to be in the manager's thinking, to get into the World Cup squad, to be starting in the World Cup. So I can understand if it's from his point of view, we'll hold off until next summer. But if there's any talk or any sniff of Marc Guehi being on the move in January, we simply have to be there. It could be a case of like Luis Diaz, for example. We wanted him. We were going to wait until the summer to sign him. Spurs came in, and when we had to just gazump their bid, get him in January, bring him in 6 months earlier than we expected. But I fully back that Liverpool will make that move if they have to. I think it probably is the player side. I think Marc Guehi won't want to leave in January. So, like I said, we have to wait till the summer, and hopefully he will still want to join the Reds, because I think his long-term future would have been at the Reds. So I think he still will be in that mindset. So let's hope we can get that one over the line. A little bit more then from James Pearce on the centre-back situation. He said, after a summer of unprecedented spending from the club, it wouldn't surprise me if the January window is very quiet, which makes sense. Like, we did spend a lot of money. We shouldn't need wholesale changes, but I would argue we do need a centre-back, just purely because Konaté's future is up in the air and Giovanni Leone obviously is missing the entire season. He went on to say, Arne Slot may be down to 3 specialist senior centre-backs, but Ryan Gravenberch, Wataru Endo, and Andy Robertson can also operate there. And this is like, it's classic James Pearce, really. And like, I love James Pearce. I'm not having a go at James Pearce at all, but like, just because those players can play there, we shouldn't be having to rely on it. Like, fair enough if we have to shoehorn one of those players in for the occasional Carabao Cup game against the lower opposition, or for the last 10 minutes of a game because we've already used all our subs, or you know what I mean? Like, these players can do a job there, but we can't be relying on that as an option. Like, if we're playing a Champions League quarter final, let's say, and we've had an injury to Gomez and Konaté, like, can you see Van Dijk lining up with Gravenberch as the other centre back away at the Bernabeu, or against Inter Milan, or you know what I mean? Like, we can't be relying on that as a serious option. Like, we can use that when we need to, like at the end of a game, or like I said, against a lesser opposition, but we can't have that as our actual options. Like, it can be a backup, fair enough, but we can't be relying on that. So like I said, I think we do need to sign a centre back in January. Whether that is Marc Guehi or someone else, I think we just simply have to get someone, because we're too light at the back. Next up, then, we had a report from Pete O'Rourke of Footy Insider, who said it is now highly unlikely that Federico Chiesa is allowed to leave Liverpool in January. Well, I bloody hope so. Like, was there ever talk of him leaving in January? Like, why in God's name would we let Chiesa go in January? Like, we barely have enough forward options as it is. Like, yes, fair enough, you can say the manager doesn't seem to fancy him, and he was left out of the Champions League squad initially until Leone's injury, which obviously he was then put in. But like, I don't think anyone thought leaving in January was a possibility. I don't think Chiesa himself would have expected that would be an option. So I don't know where this is coming out of, but I'm happy to hear it, obviously. Like, I would want Chiesa to stay, purely based on the fact that I really like him as a player, and the fact that we just need more options up front. So good news on that one, confusing news on that one. Like, I don't really know where the talk of him leaving has come from, but yeah, always good to hear that Chiesa is going to stay. So yeah, hopefully gets more game time in the second half of the season and really pushes on and gets into the manager's thinking, because he's just out of favour at the minute for some reason, even though he's been fantastic. So good news on that one. Let's hope he gets fit and firing and can win us a few trophies this season. To finish up then, I thought we'd take a look at Luke Edwards of the Telegraph. If people don't remember Luke Edwards, he had a slight little bit of fame around the Isak saga and hasn't really been heard about since. So he has continued to speak about Alexander Isak, of course, because it's the only way he can get any attention. So he said, Alexander Isak got what he wanted this summer, went on strike to force a £130 million move to Liverpool. Sweden have not got what they needed from their star striker as a result. Harsh? Not really. A home defeat to Kosovo tonight. He's missed crucial games and now no goals in 3 appearances in World Cup qualifiers. Sweden bottom of their group. Sweden bottom of their group. I think it's incredibly harsh to put that on Alexander Isak. Like, fair enough, he's probably not at 100%, but he's at 85, 90% at least. And you look at that Sweden team, like, it is bang average. Like, yes, they should be beating Kosovo, but like, outside of Isak, Gyökeres and Bergvall, pretty much, like, it is just, it's a decent team, but it's not exactly a a world-beating team. Like, I don't mean to be disrespectful to Sweden at all, but to put down everything on Isak not performing is just ridiculous. Like, that team isn't going to romp their way to every single win in the World Cup qualifiers. To put that down on Isak is just ridiculous. Like, Gyökeres was on the pitch last night too. He didn't do a thing. Like, why are you pinning this on Isak? We know why he's pinning on Isak, because he doesn't like the guy after he left Newcastle, and it's as simple as that. Like, people want to just jump on Isak because of the price tag and everything, but Newcastle could have got rid of him earlier. Like, they knew he wanted to leave. They didn't have to play such hardball. If they could actually find a replacement in a normal amount of time, Isak would have gotten a proper pre-season and he'd be at 100% now. Even would that have made a difference? Like I say, that Sweden team isn't that good anyway, so to blame him for that, like, one, it's not just down to him what Sweden do. Like, that team isn't great, like I said. And two, it's a two-way street. Newcastle held the player hostage for the summer. That's not his fault. He made his intentions clear towards the end of last season. He wanted to leave, and Newcastle would not give in to his demands for whatever reason. Like, fair enough, they're entitled to keep their player, they don't want to sell, but it didn't come as a surprise when he did go on strike. He went on strike because he done the respectful thing, told them his wishes, and they denied it, which went against what he thought would have happened. So just to blame him is just ridiculous. It's a media pylon. It's Luke Edwards being Luke Edwards, and I just think it's completely ridiculous. So I just thought I'd finish the video on that one this morning. Anyway, that's all from me. So please do hit the subscribe button before you head out. Hit the like button. Want to give a special mention as well to everyone who joined me on the live stream this morning. I have privated now because, like, I'm just getting used to live content, and I just wanted to test out a few bits. I will be doing the watch along on Sunday for the Man United game because Craig is away. He's doing the show in the Hot Water Comedy Club that evening. If you do want to get your tickets, there are tickets linked in the description below. There's still time to get them. Always a good crack. There's going to be music on tonight from one of the Boss Night lads. I think Chris Stonage is going to be there. I think Jack Gill and Steve Bland will be there as well. I won't be there myself because I'll be at home doing the watch along, but a great night to be had. Link is in the description below, like I said, for tickets. Please do check that out, and I will see you very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and all the best.